Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BoqueteNOW. I am your host, Al Stefanelli, and we are coming at you live on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM, sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, and the new Tap Out Sport Zone. And if you haven't been there yet, they have a lot going on Thursday night. Last night, they have a jam session. I went down there and played a little music, and it was fun. And we are also recording this, and it'll be on YouTube if I can get the video from Roger, and I'm sure I can. I'll post it on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure Roger will post it on his and everywhere else. Wanted to take care of a business here first, however. The Good Timing Music Review, as you know, is coming up this weekend and next weekend. And there are still plenty of tickets available for the opening night, which is this Friday at 5 p.m. at the BCP. And there's also a lot of tickets left for Saturday, the Saturday 5 o'clock show, as well as the following weekend shows. Tickets are $10. You can get them at mailboxes, etc., or $12 at the door. And if you are a veteran, and you don't have to be a veteran from the United States, you can be a veteran from anywhere, you can get your tickets for only $5 through Chris Jones at the Boquete Veteran Outreach Program. If you don't know how to get to them, look for them on Facebook, or just if you are a Facebook friend of mine, just send me a PM and I'll get you their information. We have a special guest this morning. We have Alexandra.
Thank you.
Yes, she's Alexandra Gonzalez. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here and to talk to you about more the festival we have tomorrow and Sunday in the fair from the Camara de Comercio of Boquete. So I'm working for one of the company, is in part of the Camara de Comercio. I'm going to use to talk about the event. I'm manage the marketing and sales.
So you're good at this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've received a lot of questions from some of my listeners and some of my friends. We all want to go. And I was talking to Chris Young last night in the parking lot.
He will part of the event too.
Yes. And some of the questions I got is, well, when does it start? What does it cost to get in? Once you get in, what happens when you're in there? Parking, the usual stuff.
Well, the usual park you have in front of the fair. So they will you can park there.
Same.
Okay. Start tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon. Okay. So we will have presentations, music on live. You will find a little restaurant, it's like a food fair.
Okay.
You will find different places with different states. Tomorrow we have 3 days of food, desserts, and wine.
Ooh, yeah, that's the day I'm going. That's the day I'm going. I'm for all my friends.
Absolutely. It start at 5 tomorrow. On Sunday, it start at 11 in the morning. How much is the cost of the entrance? It's $1 per person, and the children under 10 don't pay.
Oh, okay. Because they cost enough already, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's tomorrow at 5, and then Saturday at 11.
On Sunday.
Sunday. Today is Friday.
Yes.
Right. So tomorrow's Saturday. The next day is Sunday. I lose days. It happens.
This happens.
When you get gray hair, you start losing track of time and all that. My wife's always telling me, you do know what today is, right?
Yeah.
Friday. Yes. It sounds like a lot of fun. I talked to Oscar, who was going to be here, but he had another engagement. He told me some about it, and I talked to Chris at length, and he told me a lot about it. And it seems to be this is the first one, right?
It's the first one they do, yeah.
And who thought this idea up? Who's involved in it? Who promotes it? Who's in charge?
It's the Camara of Comercio. They are many activities to do, so they decide, okay, what we want to put all the restaurant in one place, and the people can taste of the flavor of Boquete. So they decide to start this event. When they start on June, they start talking about the event. Mm-hmm. On July, they start to put it on the social media and take the invitation to many restaurants of Boquete. So I was come a more strong there and they say, okay, let's do it.
Well, I know there's the last count I got, there was 135 restaurants here in Boquete. That includes the expat, the foreign-owned restaurants, and the locally owned restaurants. And I prefer actually to eat at the locally grown locally grown, the locally owned restaurants.
Right.
And I do have some favorites of the ones that are owned by foreigners, but I didn't come here to eat the same food that I can eat, back at where I come from. So about how many restaurants do you offhand, or an educated guess, are going to be involved in this?
I know they go to visit a lot of restaurants here in Boquete with the papers and the invitation, how is the cost to participate in the event. Some of the restaurants say yeah, the other is like thinking about it, and past the weeks they say no, they say yes. So we try to invite more restaurants. They feel like is many restaurants out to the event, not because they don't want to put it inside, it's because they don't want to participate, or
Sure.
they have another. It's like for example, the Rock.
Yeah.
They invite the Rock restaurant and they say yes, but they don't have idea like if they have an event the same day.
Oh, yeah.
So they send us like a note like they can participate with
Sure.
us. So
It's not that they don't want to; they have another. Yeah,
exactly.
and there's a lot going on here in town.
Yeah.
A lot of the restaurants host events, and they have their own special things going on. So just want to make sure that everybody understands if the restaurant you go to is not there, it's not because they didn't want to go. It could be because they had something else going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I was talking with my wife about it, and we have a little group of friends that we do things every weekend. And before we knew about this, we were planning on going to Gualaca. There's a stream over there where you can jump off and go in.
Right.
And we heard about this. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We all
Change
love
the
food.
plans.
We all love food, and there's a lot of expats here, a lot of foreigners here that really haven't had an opportunity to visit some of these restaurants. Some of them, they're kind of tucked away. They're not out on the open road. They don't necessarily do a lot of advertising, and this is a good opportunity for us. Who I've only been here about a year and a half. So
let me tell. From the restaurant I work, I talk to all the expats we have there. Visit us every day about the event, and they look really interesting in the event. They say, "Cool, I will talk to the people."
sure.
I post on Facebook too, in some pages. And yeah, I think it's a working group.
And what restaurant are you at?
Malu.
Oh,
Malu
Malu.
Cafe.
Okay, that's where I've seen you. Right, you're okay. I've been there. I don't know, about a dozen times. I love that place, man.
Yeah,
There's
me too.
There's a little dessert cup that you make, and it's got lemon and cookies and whipped cream on it. I can't remember what it is. Oh
Well,
man.
we have many dessert.
Oh,
I try everything you want.
it's so good. Oh man, I love that place. Yeah, we go. I do these hikes every now and then, and we all meet at the library. And a lot of the times when we're done afterwards, well, you're right up the street. We go to Malu. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And I'm guessing Malu's gonna be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the desserts.
You do.
Yeah.
And you do them very well. Yeah. I like your food. Definitely like your food.
Thank you.
And that's Panamanian-owned restaurant?
There's Panamanian restaurant.
Panamanian restaurant. And I noticed that on the little thing that you post, the little marketing thing that's on Facebook, there's a good amount of information on there. And I've seen it in Spanish. Is there an English one out there?
Yeah, I'm trying to put it on English, like on BoqueteNOW and Boquete News, all about Boquete.
Okay.
Panama Good Times.
Yeah.
That place, like I know the people don't speak Spanish.
Sure,
I try to put it on English.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the. I'm really trying to learn. I got here about a year and a half ago, and when I got off the plane, I said, okay, in 6 months, I'm going to be speaking fluent Spanish. And here I am, about a year and a half later. I've managed to learn about 40 words. A couple of phrases I can order.
Well,
stuff.
you tried.
I'm still working on it. I tried the software, software, and that didn't really work out for me. And someone had suggested, well, why don't you just hire someone? They're only about $10 an hour, and they will work with you. And I think I'm going to do that because I'm here long enough.
The best way to learn is just talking with another person.
Yeah, and that's
the way I learn English.
And that's the problem with a lot of us here, And this is one of the reasons why. I like hearing about things like this because this community has got a lot of expats in it. and it's got a lot of people that really don't understand the culture. They don't understand the language. I don't understand the language too well, but I spent a lot of time in Central and South America, so I understand the culture. But they don't really hang out with each other. There aren't that many things going on to where, you know, the locals and the foreigners can get together and maybe perhaps forge some friendships and let everyone know that we want to be part of this community too. You know, and the BCP's been doing a great job with their Good Timing Music Review, their Old Timing Radio Show. We've gotten a lot of local talent. There is some incredible talent in this town. I played last night with Edgar Vargas and his band.
He's so good too.
Yeah, and I've played with him several times before here and there, and he's always a lot of fun, and his band's a lot of fun, and they all have a great time. And last night there was about a good mix of locals and foreigners, and everybody was just drinking, having a good time, you know, listening to music. And that, I like to see that in this town. You know, I like to see what people get together and have that sense of community.
It's the way we try to do this. I mean, actually, if you go tomorrow to the fair, you will see 3 restaurants in just one place, share the space.
Yeah.
So it's because the Camara want like everybody work in a group. Like, yeah, like I just want. So you will see tomorrow. Really good.
You guys need to come out. I know there's a lot of you listening, and you know, for those of you who have nothing to do tomorrow, tell you what, if you have something to do, just go ahead and cancel your plans.
Yeah.
Your friends will understand, and tell them, why don't you just come with us? And I'm looking forward to this tomorrow, because I've been to a lot of restaurants out here. I haven't been to obviously all of them, and I have my favorites, and Mother was one of them. And I'm looking forward to trying out.
Exactly.
And seeing, you know, I'm always looking for a place to go. And don't get me wrong, my wife's a great cook. You know, we buy a lot of stuff locally here. We go to the city market and the food trucks, you know, so we buy a lot local, and she cooks very well. But, you know, sometimes you don't want to have to do dishes when you're done eating. You don't want to have to mess with that. So we go out a couple of times a week. And I know we're creatures of habit. So we go to the same places. We go to the same places and the same places. And this is going to be an opportunity for me to expand my my choices of where I would like to eat. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
On August 3, we sent to Boquete Community Group all the information about the festival. We know we sing only in Spanish and English. So that's very important. So the people know we try to invite all the people in Boquete because we are just one town. So to share with us tomorrow and next day. The other thing is a part of the band we will have tomorrow there. After that, we have a disco. So if you want to stay there to dancing, you can be there.
So do you know the band that's going to be there?
Let me just check here.
I'm looking for it too here. Scrolling through Boquete Community, go to some cool stuff for sale out there.
Yeah, they put it other information. That is really.
I like this. I joined this group before I even left the United States, and they were kind enough to let me in, and I learned a lot from them. Mm. So let's see.
Let me see if I can find it.
Did you post it yourself?
One of the person inside of the camera.
Okay. Well, while we're looking for it, we're trying to find the name of the band that's going to be there. Chances are.
Yeah, this is the information I'm looking for.
And also, you said there's going to be a disco. Is that going to be Mike? Is Mike going to do that? Who's doing the DJing? Do you know?
No.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, scrolling through this group, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to find, what we're doing is trying to find the post.
So many people know Juan Tovar, right? He is the guy with the piano.
Yeah.
He will be there too tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's.
Actually, we will have activities for the kids on Sundays too, so they will be really fun. You can eat and they can be playing.
So yeah, and I know a lot of you guys out there. Some of us older people, we don't have young kids, but I know a lot of you have, because I see you around town, and you say hello to me, and you stop me in the street, and you know, hey, how you doing? And you got little kids in tow, and I know they're not over 10, so you need to bring them and have a really, really good time. This, you know, I got to tell you something. You know, for I know it's not easy organizing something like this because you're dealing with a lot of different people. You deal with, you know, a lot of different situations, and
You
some people
find a lot
can't.
of different people.
Right, and if you're out there listening and you think that this is just something where you just pick up the phone and say, okay, you're going to be there, great, you're going to be there. There's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah.
And you said it started in June.
Yes.
And what are some of the things that you've run into that you know have made it easier for you to get restaurants and locals to
Well,
contribute?
it's a really, like you say, hard work to do like that. I've been there for a few days looking all the people in the Camara de Comercio have meetings, and they had like a 2 days complete day, go to visit different restaurants with all the papers. And you know, the next week you need to go there again,
Yeah,
try
gotta
to
go back.
call, nobody answer to see if they want to participate or not. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
And the was it you called it the Kamanaka,
Cámara de Comercio,
and that's basically a chamber of commerce. What we
yeah,
would know as a chamber of commerce.
Jammers Cámara, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's just so in case you're wondering what that is.
Try to
That's,
practice your Spanish.
I am. Okay. I will repeat after you. Go ahead.
Cámara de
Cámara
Comercio.
de Comercio.
Yeah,
Sí,
and
Cámara
it's
de
just the
Comercio.
half of the word because it's a Cámara de Comercio Agricultura de Boquete.
Okay, that's a little bit. I already forgot the first part. I remember camera because
Yeah, Cámara. Yeah. So okay, let me tell you more about what you find it tomorrow on Saturday.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, you already know Juan Tobar, like it's acoustic music. And on Sunday they will have like a cocktails, practice like doing cocktails there.
Oh, okay.
They have the chef will be managed of the meat, so you will know more about the meat. Nutritions, they start at 2 p.m. The fair open at 11, but you will see other activities start at 2. And the play for the kids, like they can jump in there.
Oh, he's gonna have like a bouncy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
For kids, right?
For kids.
I love those things.
And one other thing I'm trying to look in here is the last post they put it with all the people is participants. All the companies, we need to say thanks to the companies because it's Global Bank, Peterson's, one of the Blas emisora, Cervecería Nacional. I can find it here too many more. Super Baru.
Of course.
La Parmigiana. You will taste other food there tomorrow. Yeah, so it's really, really interesting activity.
And Sunday.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, tomorrow all the taste is from the sponsors.
Okay.
So,
okay, and it's just $1 to get in.
$1 to get in.
And on Sunday, is you have an opportunity you can buy food like a regular food court.
Exactly, from different restaurants. So you can buy for a little, and eat all the restaurants.
I'm gonna get Gordo. Yeah, that's it's really nice to see stuff things like this. And I know I have talked to Oscar's been on the show. I had Rigo Terranova on last week, and there seems to be a desire really for not only doing things to increase tourism, because obviously this is a destination city. People come here because of the climate, and it's a beautiful city. Excuse me. But looking for things to attract people. There's a lot of ideas out there, and not too many of them ever go past the, hey, this is a good idea. Because there is a lot of work involved in it, and you have to get people that are going to want to help. You didn't do this by yourself. I mean, I'm sure you had people helping you.
Absolutely.
And when something actually comes together, to me, it gives me something to, as they say, to write home about. You know, so my family is always asking me, so what's going on down there? What are you doing down there? If we come visit, what can we do? And I'm like, well, first thing you can do is find a hotel or a hostel, because you're not surfing on my couch. Right. You got to find somewhere else to go. But the timing of it, I think, is really good, because there's a lot going on during the high season. There's a lot of festivals, especially November, December. There's parades. There's a lot going on, and it gets kind of confusing sometimes. And to offer these things during what our low season is, I think that's fantastic because you got a lot of people here during this time of the year that live here all year round. They don't just pop in for 3 or 4 months and then go. These are the people that are here. We're permanent residents.
Yeah, it's the reason because they do on this month, because it's any activities, many fair. Well, we have some fair in Volcan, but it's there, so we try to attract more people in those months here because we also got a low season, like you say. They decide to do it on August, and we know we have the second version next year too.
Oh, yeah, so you're already planning next year.
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Are there things that you wanted to do this year that you just weren't able to?
Yeah, they have like a lot of activities to do. It's the first day. Well, it's not the first because they already do one year, the last year. So yeah, you can find it on the page of Facebook of the Camara de Comercio of Boquete. You will find like this.
I'm gonna look for that right
And
now
you will see all the information. They are working for more activities in the next few months, so you will find it there too.
I'm looking for a camera. See, you go.
It's a big name, so Camara.
We're looking on. There it is. No, that's the Cherokee, Camara de Comercio Cherokee.
No, Camara de Comercio, Industrias.
Oh, it's a long one, huh?
Yeah.
We're searching for this right now.
I think it will be more easy to you. You find that profile picture.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I'm gonna find that.
Yeah, on Facebook. Cámara de Comercio, Industrias y Agricultura de Boquete.
You got that, everybody? All right, I'll find it. I can't find it right now. I found a bunch of them. I found Camara de Comercio, Industria y Turismo de Huecos, but I haven't found the other one. But I will find it. I promise you, I will find it, and I will like the page. And
yeah, we really are interested to bring more activities here to all the people in Boquete, and not only Boquete, not for all the tourists.
Yeah.
You say we are a track place. We are working with the ATP, like it's the most activity of the tourists here in Panama. So you think will be help us?
So you have other things though that you have planned throughout probably the rest of the year.
Yes.
Can you give us a hint on some of the things you have?
No.
You can't. Oh, she won't tell.
More they're welcome to you to invite you to the next meeting they will have, so more about the
Yeah, I'd like to. We're one of the things we do on the show is we like to talk about and have guests on that are contributing positive things to the community. There's so much bad news out there. I mean, it's not hard to find bad news. There's not really that much in the way of good and positive things. So that's one of the goals of our show is to let people know, hey, you know what? You live in a paradise. And I know that a lot of the people that have been here for a long time realize that.
Right.
But sometimes you take advantage. I know you take for granted your surroundings. Sometimes my wife and I will get in the car and we'll drive. We'll go up to Los Naranjos. We'll do the loop,
right.
Which is a big tourist thing. And, because we always try to remember where we are and everything that this town has to offer and what the improvements that are being made through the mayor's office. Everybody is thrilled about that. I live in Bajo and I've got a nice paved road right in front of my house, and it's perfect, and everywhere I go now. So, all these things put together, what you guys are doing and what the city is doing and what the tourism board is doing, is all for one goal, and it's just to get tourists here, to bring dollars into our community so we can keep improving it. And things like the Taste of Boquete, I think, is very important because it's nice when you're driving down the road. Okay, there's no potholes, and
it's not used because this event is like for the restaurants all the days. We try to do activities. It's not used for the restaurant. It's not for the farms and the other place like the coffee. And we have many activities to do here in Boquete. So we try to get involved all the people here for the companies, private companies, to have another activities.
So are you working with the mayor's office on any of this, or is this just a private thing?
And no, it's not a private. We are not working with the Politica, but we are, well, we
Commercial.
try to involve all the people here in the activities.
Now, I know you said you can't tell us what you've got coming up, and I understand that, and that's cool. But you do have projects you're working on.
Absolutely. It's coming another fest on the next few months. So, yeah.
If somebody wanted to, if people, I'm sure you guys need help. So, do you accept volunteers?
Absolutely.
And how
I
do
know. It's the reason because I invite you to the next meeting so you can know about more activities and you can tell me what you want to do.
Well, yeah, and you know, I'm always looking.
It's
I'm a part of this community, so I like getting involved. In things, you know.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we know all the are part of the community, so it's the reason because we try to involve everybody in the activities.
Yeah.
So it's because I told you about the invitation we do on the Facebook.
Now, is that can anyone go to that, or is that just for me? That's for everybody, right?
I want to invite you, and you
Okay.
can share with the people
Okay.
all the information.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no. You WhatsApp me the time and
Absolutely,
all that, and I'll
absolutely.
go and we got about, I don't know. There's a lot of people listening to the show, so you know maybe you can get a lot of help. Of course, you don't want thousands of people, you know, coming to your meeting. I get it, okay, but I'll definitely come and check it out and pass on the information. And if there's something that I can help with, you know, maybe next year I could play music.
Good.
See?
Why next year? We can do in the next fest.
Well, maybe we can. Hey, you know, I'll bring some of my harmonicas with me. Maybe I can sit in. That's what we did last night with Edgar. That was a lot of fun. All right. I think we're getting ready for a break here. So our engineer is staring out the window. It's really funny. I wish I could turn the camera. Get some fresh air here. We're broadcasting from an RV, and it's a funny story because those of you who were on my show in the beginning, about 8, 9, 10 months ago, we had a studio, a regular studio, and every time I came up here, I saw this RV park with a for sale sign on it. I was like, yeah, that's make a really cool, like, remote broadcasting thing. And I come here one day, and it's, I'm told, go in the RV. And it's all set up, and now with the video, you'll be able to see this.
Yeah, that's
and it's
good.
funny, and we're broadcasting from an RV, and it actually it moves around, and it's called, Roger calls it the Road Runner.
The road, yeah.
And it is still for sale, I think. The last time I talked to him was, but it's a lot of fun.
You know, we have RV there in Malu, right?
Yeah.
For
is that part of your your thing?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Are the RVs? Do people own them and drive them in and park there, or do you own them and rent them out?
We have like a spaces. If you come with your RV, you can connect with our system, and you have the access to have water, electricity, and everything there.
And sewage?
Yes. And we have the last 4 we have is like if you've never been in one, you can really have the experience inside and stay there.
Wow. And it's how much are they?
The cost will be depends how many person will be inside, because we have one is for 2, and we have the other is for 7. So it depends. It's like a $45, $90, something like that. Depends on how many people.
And of course, all you have to do is walk out of the RV and go eat at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. No, I wondered that because, you know, I smoke cigarettes, right? So you can't really smoke in anywhere. So when I go there, I step out into the parking lot, and I look at those. I'm like, wow, you know, I didn't even know that there was an RV park here in town.
Yeah, actually, I think it's the unique here in Panama. Like you can find the place with all the system, like you can connect in your car.
So there you go. If you have an RV, or for my listeners who are all the way over in San Jose, Costa Rica, that might be coming this way, now you got a place to stop on the way.
Most of the people find out on iOverlander app.
Ah, okay. Oh, there you go. All right, well, we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to listen to some Billy Idol. Wow, you're really reaching back there, Zulika. It's called Dancing With My Son. I remember that song. Wow, that's aging. That's from the 80s. Anyways, Billy Idol, enjoy the music, and we'll be back at you in about 3-4 minutes. So we're on a break, but we're still recording. And now, see, you all can see what we do during the break. We really don't do much of anything. We just kind of sit here and stare at our phones. So how about you watch some video of us scrolling through our phone? Because I really want to find that Camera.
You're trying to find it?
I'm still trying to find it. Yeah. Camera de Comercio.
Well, maybe you have some questions there in the live.
See, I get as far as Camara de Comercio. See results. And is it a group? It's a group, right?
It's a fan page.
It's a page. Ah, okay. I'm looking for the picture now. I'm scrolling all here looking for your picture.
May I help you?
Yeah, see if you can find it.
You put it Comercia.
Ah, see? So this whole thing with the video, they used to do this in the old studio up in the main building here. There were 2 or 3 cameras in there, and I know they do it in David because I watch frequently, the main station in David. And we've been talking about doing this, and I'm really glad that they've done it. Look at that. She's got me all set up. Go ahead, like it. Ah, there you go. Camara de Comercio, Industrias y Agricultura de Boquete. Is it close? Close enough?
Ya ahorita les digo que no lo okay. You know her. She will play tomorrow too.
And we are back. That was Billy Idol, Dancing with Myself. And I kind of like Billy Idol. I remember DJing back in the 80s. Wow. It's funny is because when you get to be, up towards 60 and you think 10 years ago, you think the 90s, right? And there's a whole other decade that was in there. So we're gonna talk in a minute about a few other things I wanted to take care of a little business here. If you're going over to Boulder 54, which if you haven't gone to Boulder 54, you really need to make it part of your Boquete experience. Every Thursday, this was last night, but this is every week, they have a 12-ounce prime rib. It's $18 and comes with loaded potatoes, and it's very good. If you haven't had their food, I have to tell you, it's very good. I enjoy it. But then again, it's me. Big Daddy's Grill serves breakfast now, and I don't know if you know this, and they hadn't served breakfast up until I think it's been about 2-3 weeks ago. You can get breakfast anywhere from $3 to $8, and the food is, of course, what you would expect, breakfast food. And they've got all kinds of stuff there. I don't have their menu in front of me, but I have read their menu. And they open at 7 o'clock, and Tap Out always has some specials going on, and they have a jam session every Thursday, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a kind of a mix of a lot of the musicians in town. They used to do this at the brewery, and they've now moved it over to Tap Out. And if you have an instrument, you could play an instrument, bring it, and they will let you sit in. I went there yesterday with some friends of mine, and I coincidentally had a few harmonicas with me, right? And Edgar was there, and Edgar's a lot of fun to play music with, very focused. And his band was there, and I got to sit in with a few songs. One of my favorite ones is Oye Como Va, and I like the original version by Tito Puente,
Uh-huh.
and they play a really close rendition, and it's really exciting. So anyway, I mentioned that because the show is sponsored by the Chris Young Empire and Austin and Justin, Big Daddies and Boulder and Tap Out. So, and also I wanted to remind you that there are tickets still. There are tickets still for the I keep moving over the Good Timing Music Review. Bunch of tickets available for the opening night, which is this Friday. It's tonight, 5 p.m. at the BCP, and there's a bunch of tickets left for the Saturday show, which starts at 5 o'clock. And also tickets available for next weekend, and you can get them for $10 at mailboxes, etc., or $12 at the door. And if you are a veteran of any armed service anywhere in the world, you can get tickets for $5 through Chris Jones at the Boquete Veteran Outreach Program. And if you do not know how to get a hold of them, they are on Facebook, and you could send me a PM or send Roger a PM, and they will be more than happy to tell you where to go. They're a good group of people. I know most of them. I'm a veteran myself. Go Marines, and they help out a lot. They do a lot of good for our community, and there's a lot of ex-military here from all over, not just from the United States. I got friends of mine that were in the Israeli military in Canada, and also here in Panama and South
Yeah, I
America.
know.
So,
I've been working at different places, The Haven, Valle Escondido, and I meet a little
yeah, there's a
people.
bunch of, there's like 1,200 of us here. Now, there's a few of us that live in the hills for whatever reason, you know,
Absolutely.
but a lot of us are very well integrated here, you know, and it really is, to be part of this community and to be a veteran. There's a lot going on here for veterans. There's support groups, there's veterans groups, there's just a lot to make you feel, you know, like you're home. And this feels like home to me. You know, it's funny, when I got here, when I would make plans to go visit, I have grandchildren and all that, I would say, okay, well, I'm going to go home for a week, you know, and then as time goes by, you realize, you know what, that's not home anymore. This is home. So now I say I'm going to go visit, because this has become my home. And there's a lot of us here that have been here for a long time. I've met people that have been here since the 90s. You know, I was down here briefly in the 80s, but it was a whole different country, and I was out at the canal. But this sense of family here, and the sense of community here, even in the States, when you walk down the street in a big city and you say hello to people, they look at you cross-eyed. They're like, "Who are you? Why are you saying? What do you do?"
Yeah.
But here, you say hello to people. They say hello. Man, what? You know,
But this happened too, not just with the tourists, happened with all the Panamanian people too, because we are in the city and we say, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
In Spanish. And they say,
what?
Crazy, why'd you say that?
I know, it's weird, but this.
Yeah, it's weird.
I grew up in New York City, and I got out of there as quick as I could, because I'd been to a small town. I visited my first time. I think I was, I don't know, 16 or 17 years old. I got out of the city and I went to a small town, and it was fascinating. Everybody knew everybody else. Everybody knew where everything was. You never had to ask strangers for directions, because how do you get to so-and-so? How do you get to Malu? They go to the library, turn left, it's a block up. You know, everybody knows you, and you see people in the street. And if you're out in town enough, you get to know merchants, you get to know vendors, you get to know just people who take the same routes as you.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful experience here. And I never went back to a big city. I don't even like going to Panama City. You know, I went there a few months ago. I bought my car there, and it reminded me of, and I'm not knocking Panama City, happy birthday, 500 years, right? But it's a city, and I spent my whole youth in the city, and this is perfect. This is a mountain town, and it's everything that I want. And maybe they'll put that cable car. You know, that'd be nice. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a political person, so I don't.
We are not too. So
I
think everything is good if we improve the tourists here.
Yeah, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
And the more people we get here, the more dollars we get here. You know, you don't want to say it's not all about the money, but you need money. you need money to do these things, you know, to make the improvements and to make the town more attractive and to fix things that need to be fixed, you know. So if you're going to do something to bring in money, why not do something like you're doing? You're making a community thing instead of just selling bonds.
Mhm.
That's a big thing in the States. So, well, we need money, so buy these bonds. It's okay, well, I'll buy a bond, but all you have is a bond. You don't have a memory. And here you have a memory. And here you have, with this event that you have going on, you not only have memory, but now you have more places to go and eat. I love Panamanian food. I really do. There's places that little tiny little places that are off the road. You know, they're not on the main road that people over the last year or so have said, you got to try this place. You got to. So I found Malou. Now Malou's not a little place. It's a nice place, but I didn't know where it was because I just, you know, the first 6 months I was here, I didn't have a car. So I just took the taxi and the buses. Someone says, you need to get off the main road. There's so much here.
People say we are hiding. We are not.
No. And someone said, have you ever been to Malou? Someone called it Mount because of the coffee cup and the thing.
Actually, we already changed. we already take out because the people say it's Malou. No, it's Malou. Malou is the name of the daughter of the owner.
Oh, okay.
It's Maria Lucia. So they call it Malou.
Malou.
Yeah.
Learn something new I did not know that. Yeah, someone had suggested that you got to try this place. I said, where is it? And they told me, and I went. And, matter of fact, the first time that I went there, I was with Oscar.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got this. It was great. And it's not really hidden. You know, it's not hard to find. You can find it. It's pretty easy to find. But there are little gems in town here. Little eateries where there's maybe 2 tables or 3 tables, and there are 3 or 4, and you go in there and they give you just a huge amount of food. It's like $3 or $4 or $5 or $6, and I can't finish that. I think can I have I don't even know how to say to go in Spanish or to go bag. I go
I think most of the people already know that is to go. Para llevar.
Para llevar.
Para llevar.
I really got it. Okay, you know who you are out there. The last person who approached me and said, hey, I could teach you conversational Spanish. You know who you are, ye of the red hair. And you're gonna hear from me next week because I've been here long enough. I think I need to put a little more effort into it, right? You know, it's funny because there's a lot of locals here that speak English. And when you think about it, that's one more language than I know. Right, I speak 2 languages, English and bad English, and a lot of the expats that I've met here are really truly trying to make an effort, you know, to learn. And there's a couple people here who, for a very very fair price, will sit with you for a few hours a week and teach you. Google Translate's great, but it doesn't always get things right.
Right.
And I have gotten myself into some trouble using Google Translate, and there's a dialect here that's different than in Colombia, and then I've been to San Salvador, I've been to Nicaragua, I've been to Guatemala, I've been to South America. I've never been to Colombia, but I've been to Ecuador, and there's different dialects, different words, different pronunciations. So if you're trying to learn Spanish online and you end up being fluent in Castilian Spanish from Spain, it really isn't going to work, is it? So I will be endeavoring to do that, which is another way of becoming part of the community. You know, I look at it this way: we're guests here, even though we're permanent residents, and a lot of the locals, especially the commercial establishments, they go out of their way to make it easier for us to understand. You know, bilingual menus. Right. A lot of the people that work at the stores, they know enough English, and it kind of spoils us. You know, because if you go to another place, even in Panama, you don't get that. So I think it would behoove us to try to make an effort to return the favor and to learn the language, right?
I remember my first job when...
And your English is very good, by the way.
Well, I'm trying. My first job, I'm in the French restaurant. It's Tres Calini right now.
Yeah.
Before it's like the crepe restaurant many years ago. I'm not old, but many years ago.
22, 23, right?
No. And he's a guy come inside and he's French. And he told me like he talked to me in French and say, no, this is Spanish. No, this is a French restaurant, so you need to talk in French. The owner say, no, you're in Panama. You need to talk in Spanish.
And that's that's the truth, and it is. And wherever I've traveled a lot, and where I've been in Europe, it's always, not always, but often, especially in the big cities, there's a lot of people that speak English. But the people that speak English there also, the foreigners that have come from the United States or Canada, they also speak that language. So when you go into a cafe, say in Marseille, I know the people that are in there speak English. They're American, but they're speaking French. So they make the effort. And it's not, learning new language is daunting sometimes. You can get to, I can never do it, I can never do it. But there's a lot of the words, though, that aren't that difficult to, and especially when you get older, it's hard to memorize new things. But I'm getting there. Now I'm to the point where I need help. I need someone who speaks both Spanish and English to help me with I destroy your grammar. I mean, the male and female, I get that wrong all the time.
Yeah.
But the locals here are so gracious to me because they know, I'm trying, and they're so gracious. They don't laugh at me. They laugh with me because I'm laughing at myself. I completely destroy a phrase. I ask for something, and I use the wrong word. I was taking a taxi up here, and I wanted the taxi to stop at the next bus stop. So instead of saying "la caseta," I use a different word, which means I hate marriage. And the guy looked at me. He turned his head. He goes, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, just aquí, stop, stop. Yeah, aquí. Stop now, stop. Let me out." But anyway, enough of that. Sometimes we go on rabbit trails here. It's a lot of fun. So what else have you got?
No, I'm just not too many people have Instagram, but I'm checking the Instagram account of Sabores de Boquete in Spanish.
Wow.
Okay,
Go to my Instagram here.
Sabores de Boquete. I'm looking, it's really interesting to see all the places is participating there. In the Instagram, you will find it, not just the restaurant you will find inside, if not to the sponsors. So all the information is there, and it's really interesting to see Global Bank, Scotiabank, La Giota. So we have Sabores. A craft beer too. Sabores.
How you spell that? S-A-B-O-R-E-S?
Sabores. Sabores.
De Boquete.
De Boquete.
De. Let's see if I can find this here. Ah, there you go. Sabores de Boquete. I found it. How you like that? Yeah. I'm following it now.
You got it. You see, many restaurants is there.
Oh, look at that. Global.
Boulder is there.
Colibri, La Mansion.
La Mansion is a craft beer.
Villa Cristal, Isabella's, Malou. Ah, is that your new logo?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Now, that's, wow, yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram is Sabores de Boquete. Taste of Boquete in Spanish. And you will see all the, like you are looking now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. This is fantastic. Look at all this, man. There's so many. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 20, 20. There's a lot of them here. And these are all the, wow. Yeah, you guys got to get on here. You got to get on to their Instagram page and also Facebook too.
Facebook too.
Yeah, this is really impressive. There's so much going on. And I don't think there's a lot of expats. I don't think even know, that you guys are a thing. That you're here, and I really, really hope I'm going to start. I'll go ahead and do a little promotion for you on Facebook.
I will see you tomorrow there.
Yes, you will see me tomorrow there. That's right. And I'm going to see tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, I think. I don't know my wife's schedule.
Tomorrow we start at 5 tomorrow.
At 5 p.m.
in the afternoon.
5 in the afternoon.
I got all the dates for the sponsors, food, desserts, and wines.
Oh, yeah.
It will be really interesting.
Yeah.
And the music, the people play music, and the disco after that.
Well,
on Sunday, we start at
11. Tomorrow's at 5. And I know there are several of my friends going because, like I said, we were looking for something to do, and we were originally going to go to Guadalajara. And one of our friends said, "Hey, what about Taste of Boquete? And I didn't know anything about it. I'm on Facebook all the time. You know, that's where we were trying to figure out what's going on when I called Oscar. But, I'm so looking forward to this. Wine, huh?
Wine.
Is there a limit? Like, you know, can you have more than one?
Absolutely.
Oh,
It's just states.
We've been, we got about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 minutes left on the show here. So is there anything that you would like aside from this, or any more information or anything you want to go over?
One of the important things is like we can't rent all the fair.
Mm-hmm.
So we have just part of the fair.
Okay.
So it's the reason because we have a limit places to have inside restaurants there. So yeah, we try to invite all the people there.
Mm-hmm.
We will have another event and we will try to involve all the people here in Boquete for the next fest we will have. But yeah, more than welcome to see you there tomorrow and Sunday.
Well, I think what I might do, if I can get a good Wi-Fi signal there, because last time I was there, they had the Oktoberfest.
Right.
And I did security for that, and we couldn't get it. We couldn't get any Wi-Fi. But if I can get a good enough signal, we'll do a live Facebook thing.
Yeah, I'm will doing too from the pages of Sabores de Boquete.
Yeah.
It's not just there. All the sponsors will be there, so they will doing a live in their own accounts. So
I might have to just visit some of those with my annoying phones. Hey, you're live on Facebook. I'll make sure I wear my Radio Cherokee. My Radio Cherokee
yeah, very
shirt.
important.
Yes, so they know that I'm not just some strange person sticking a phone in their face, right? You know, I know. I need to ask, hey Roger, if you're listening, how about a press pass? Huh? That'd be nice. You give me one of them when you go around and do more things for that. Hey,
actually, the other thing is like just to let you know, the fair rent also place.
Sure.
It's not like a free place,
Yeah.
and the fee we put it to all the restaurant participate is just a little things to just to involve the way we want is to involve all the restaurants, all the places. So we try to just charge a little bit of that. So yeah, just to to cover the cost of
renting the place. Yeah. Well, you know what though, you got to spend a little money to make some money. You know, nothing's really free. So the money that they spend to be there, hopefully, will generate more business for them. You know, and that's the whole point of the Chamber of Commerce. You know. Yeah,
the chamber is working not just for some places. It's for everybody. It's for all Boquete. They are more than welcome to invite you to participate into the chamber. So it's the reason because I will invite you next time for the meeting, so you can tell everybody about how is the cost to be into the Chamber of Commerce.
And I'll make sure I bring someone with me that understands Spanish.
Oscar will be there. So
Oscar will be. That's right. I'm gonna sit next to Oscar.
Oscar,
you tell me what's going on here, because it's really important to let everybody know what's going on. And there's a lot of people don't even know that there is such a thing as a Chamber of Commerce here. And when you get, hey, Roger's here. How's it going, man?
I was watching and listening.
Oh, look, we have the same shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Imagine that. We must shop at the same store.
You need to have one for the invite when you invite people.
Yeah, sure. Excuse me, I just want to announce to everybody, there's going to be a book presentation on Sunday at the library, at the local library. And it's really fantastic because these people are coming from United States. One of them used to be the attaché at the American Embassy in Panama City, and they've written a book. It's called Panama Modern, or Modern Panama. And it's going to be the book presentation in English and Spanish, 4 p.m. at the local library, and the books are going to be, I just read part of the book, and it's the history of Panama since 1980 or 1977, where the Torrijos Carter treaties for the Panama Canal were signed. Yeah. So it's very interesting. It covers the Just Cause, the invasion of Panama. It covers when Noriega, where is Panama going and how is running the canal. So it's very interesting. So I invite everybody, 4 p.m. local library, Boquete Library.
And that's today?
Sunday,
Okay.
4 p.m. And the authors of the book are going to be there. If you want to get the book in Spanish or in English, and they'll be signing books.
Oh, great.
And I want to mention a lot of people that are listening and watching the show. And there they are. There's a lot of people watching, and I want to Eddie Guerra, Enrique Bucker, Chandri Navarro in the States, Janet Barroso, Ricardo Dormoa Macay, Miriam Mora, Juan Carlos Ledesma, Leslie King, Miriam Velarde, and Roger Guerra.
That's you.
This is the first time we air this through the, but there are going to be a couple of changes. We're going to get a wide angle camera, high definition. We're going to do shows outside the patio.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do a lot of things. Thanks for
and we're going to be doing a news show too, right? We talked about that.
Yes. We talked about that last week. It's going to be news about Chiriquí and Panama in English, full English, so you're informed what's going on. And somebody wrote to me, please tell the lady to watch the camera. Yes, there she goes.
There she is. All right, and where can we see this or the re-recording of this? I was
Boquete News, Boquete Community, Radio Chiriquí, Roger Guerra Bianco.
And I'll try to get a copy. If I can get a copy.
Sure, you can send them to your friends all over.
Yeah.
And that's the reason where we are airing this, broadcasting this through Facebook, because it's going to be there. I don't know for how long, probably a month. But you can record it for yourself, send it, share it,
I'll download it. It'll be on the BoqueteNOW
Yes.
Facebook page.
Thank you very much for watching and listening.
Yes. So how much time we got? We're about done? 1 minute. All right. Well,
1 minute.
let's close this out. You've been listening to Boquete Now on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM, sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, and the new Tap Out Sports Zone. We've been talking with Alexandra Gonzalez from the Chamber of Commerce, and in Spanish that is
Camara de Comercio.
De
Boquete. And of course,
too short for him.
shorten it down for me. Of course, Roger stopped in. He owns the place, and he's a fantastic guy. And he also is a musician as well. I played music with him.
Yeah, I listened. You just said about musicians. Yes,
we've had a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Don't forget, you can get tickets for the Good Timing Music Review. There's a bunch of tickets available at mailboxes, etc. Thank you for listening. Awesome day,
Thank you
everybody.
for the invitation.
And yes, anytime. Have a good day. See you later. We're gone.